Okay, so lying down or sitting, whichever you feel suits you this morning. A comfortable seat, propped maybe sitting on a chair or a sofa or whatever's in your room. Just start until you can soften whatever is tight. Allowing your body to settle into a stillness. Noticing where your body meets the earth. And softening into that. Releasing the earth that's always there to support you. Following the breath from beginning to end. In through the nose and out through the nose if possible. With a soft jaw. With the eyes rested or resting. Noticing the quality of your breath without judging it. And then maybe smoothing it out. So that one breath leads to the next with just a gentle pause between the breaths. Maybe noticing where the body accepts the breath, where do the inhales settle? And inviting the breath to move a little deeper. To extend the inhales, to soften the exhales, exploring the breath as it moves in and out of the body, of your body. Taking 3 more rounds like this to just explore the breath as it moves into the heart space. Pausing here in the stillness. Maybe noticing any emotions without judging them, without attaching to them, neither clinging nor pushing away. Because yoga is about bringing the awareness of the physical body a little deeper to the heart space, to the spiritual body, to acknowledge your emotions. And with your next inhale, allow the arms to float out, around, and maybe up. Softening the arms in the shoulder sockets. And inviting a subtle or deep extension, opening through the side body, the front body, the back body. Where do you feel this? Backing out of anything that doesn't feel good. Not forcing your body to become a shape that you aren't ready for. One more round of breath here, and then with your exhale, floating the hands to either side of the hips. Inhaling there and exhaling one knee, and then the other draws in for a hug. Pausing here. Oh, so you're on your back if you aren't already, sorry. Pausing here. The spine long on the floor with its natural curves, a softness to the back of the neck and the jaw. And with your exhale, bringing awareness to the pit of the belly as you gather it. Maybe you have space to draw the knees a little closer. And then maybe rocking side to side, using your breath to guide you. aware of sensation in the body and letting go of anything that doesn't feel good for you at this moment. Maybe making some small circles with the knees, rolling from one side of the hip to the other, knees away from you. Does this bring awareness to a different part of the body? Reversing those circles. And then coming to stillness here, inhaling, allowing the arms to extend, the knees to come up over the hips without efforting the shoulders off the floor. So sorry, palms of the hands on the top of the knees. Nice. With your exhale, bend the elbows, hug the knees in. With your inhale, allow them to soften away. Not that you're drawing them in with your hands. You're just moving them using the core body and the breath to guide you, and then pausing with the knees over the hips, inhaling the knees away from each other, exhaling, drawing them together, inhaling, big toes touch, heels touch, knees separate, exhale, draw them in. One more round like this. Inhale like you're a butterfly, soles touch, feet touch, knees splay away, and then coming in together. Floating the feet to the earth, walking them the width of the mat, and finding your expression of windshield wiper. Maybe you flex the feet and come up onto the heels, exploring the front, back, and side body. Notice what you notice. Meet your body wherever it is today. And then letting the knees come up to center, allow the knees to fall together and the feet to walk wide, and adjust them so this happens naturally, so that you're not efforting or hugging the thighs together, so that you can let go and find an easeful way to be in this pose and bring awareness to the breath. The breath as it moves into, or you invite it into the back body, the back of the heart. Noticing as the ribs expand and open, they come a little closer to the earth, and then gently hug the breath away. This happens all on its own. Can you allow the breath to move deeper? Can you allow or invite the body to become a little softer, more accepting of the breath? Without expectation or judgment, just being curious about the breath and the body. And then inhaling, the knees float over the ankles again, the feet walk back to hips distance. Exhaling, hugging the pit of the belly towards the earth, allowing the lower back to come a little closer to the earth without forcing it. With your inhale, hip points rock to the knees. Maybe the heart puffs up a little. Exhaling, taking those pelvic rocks on the sacrum. The only thing leaving the earth is the lower back. And you're rocking on the sacrum, the shoulders, the back of the head, and the soles of the feet resting. In stillness, isolating the movement to the pelvis, rolling forward and back. Nice, and then finding stillness there and extending that right leg straight out onto the floor in front of you. Inhaling the right arm alongside your ear. As you reach the right fingertips towards the rim and back of you, extend into the heel. Breathe into that lengthening in the right side body, that opening. Exhaling, the right foot floats back to the floor with a bent knee, and the right arm floats down. Inhaling, left arm extends and rests on the floor, and the left leg extends. And we reach into the sole, the heel of that left foot, as if you could stand on the wall. And then reach into the fingertips without efforting into the shoulders. And finding the breath moving into that space you've created. Softening with each inhale. And with your exhale, that arm floats down, the knees come back, the knee comes back up towards the ceiling. And exhale, draw the knees in for a hug. Pausing before choosing movement. Aware of the choices that are guided by your breath. Honoring your body, wherever it is today. And so we practice yogasana, the physical practice, to go from acting or moving from habit to mindfully making wise choices. We bring loving awareness to the felt experience. We allow the breath and the wise heart to guide us, allowing the feet to float to the earth as you release any bind that you might have taken. Inhaling that right leg straight up to the ceiling, keeping equal weight on both hips so that you're rooted on the sacrum, keeping that natural curve in the lower back. So just bringing awareness to the length of the spine, keeping the integrity even as you lie on the floor. The foot is flexed, the toes point overhead, the knee is soft. Just noticing what you feel. Making some circles through the ankle as if you could draw with a crayon on the big toe. Slow and mindful, complete, full circles, and reversing those circles. And finding stillness there, moving in and out of flex and point. And maybe you notice the core is maybe engaged to help you to keep the leg extended, but the breath is not compromised. Soften the knee a little more if you need to. With your inhale, come to stillness and fan the toes away from each other. With your exhale, curl them in, a gentle fisting of the foot. Inhale, expand, exhale. Notice what you notice. Aware that each joint needs to move to get that synovial fluid in there. So as we move into more stillness in the winter, as you sit, doing some mindful movement. With your next inhale, find stillness and extend into the sole of the foot, rotating the entire leg in the hip socket so the toes point out, and crossing that ankle over the thigh. Right ankle, left thigh. Yes. So that the ankle bone is on the outside of the thigh so that it feels comfortable. And then inviting that right knee to move away from you, to soften away from you. The foot stays flexed to protect the knee. Soften through the shoulders. They're tucked underneath the heart space and away from the ears. Maybe dipping the chin towards the notch in the collarbone to let go of any efforting in the back of the neck. And we find the breath filling the space below the collarbone. Bringing awareness to the pit of the belly. With the next exhale, we gently gather or hug the belly in the direction of the earth. And maybe experiment with inhaling that left foot off the floor. Notice what you notice. Left knee draws in, right knee extends away from you. Maybe this is enough, and you'll stay right here. This is core work, warming up the core body, belly gently hugging in and up, ribs hugging to the earth. If this is too much, you can have a block under that left foot and still work on the core without efforting. Breathing here. With your next inhale, that right leg extends up, the left foot floats to the earth, and with your exhale, guide that leg to come back to rest onto the earth. Let the left leg extend out to meet it. And pause here in the stillness to become aware of any sensation in the body. Does the right side body feel any different than the left side? How's the breath? Can you smooth it out? With your next exhale, one foot and then the other comes to the earth as you bend the knee. We inhale that left leg and extend it up to the ceiling. Root it onto the sacrum, so equal weight in the hips, and then find our big toes making circles as if you're moving in honey, and then reversing those circles. Soft back of the knee, finding stillness, flex and point. This side might be a little different than the other. With your next inhale, the toes fan away from each other. With your exhale, they gently fist in together, hugging in. Nice. And then finding stillness there. As you exhale, the belly gathers, the sacrum roots to the earth. As you inhale, they extend into that heel as if you could breathe into the back of the thigh. Rotating the leg in the hip socket so the toes turn out and crossing that ankle over the thigh so that it rests comfortably. Keeping that left foot flexed, offering that left knee to move away from you. Maybe you're staying here, aware of the sensation in the left hip. With your exhale, bring awareness to the belly as it gathers to support the pose. Maybe inhaling, lifting that right foot, any amount or not at all. Maybe that foot comes to a block and you can still bring awareness to the core body, the muscles that hug the belly in and up and the ribs without efforting or compromising the breath. Nice. With your next exhale, release that right foot to the earth. With your inhale, extend the left leg up to the ceiling, bend the knee, or float that leg, guide it to the earth, extend it out in front of you. Let the right leg come to meet it. And bring awareness to the breath in the body. Smooth it out. Become aware of any sensation. Use the breath to soften. With your next exhale, one knee and then the other draws in for a hug, and maybe you rock from side to side. Nice. And then finding stillness there, allow the feet to float to the earth. Roll over to one side or the other. Just pause here for a couple of rounds of breath. Breathe into the heart space, front and back. Soften through the shoulders. Aware of any gripping, of efforting, and letting it go, releasing it with the exhales. Using the hands on the earth and the core body that can draw you up and then over onto all fours. Take time to pad your knees. Are you moving out of habit or with awareness? We can challenge ourselves even with these familiar poses knowing that it's the in between that matters, right? It's the journey, not the goal, not the ending. The journey is just important. So, mindfully moving into our tabletop, setting up our foundation, letting go of efforting so that we have integrity and the breath stays smooth. With your exhale, find your cat, one vertebra at a time, lifting towards the ceiling as the top of the head then floats towards the earth or not. With your inhale, the tailbone lifts, the belly softens, the heart extends away from the belly as the shoulder blades slide together, and maybe you lift the gaze. Taking that full breath length to guide you in and out with a gentle pause between the breaths, maybe without holding your breath, but just aware that you're in the fullest expression for your body. But are you efforting? Take the time to notice that so that the next time it might be a little different. How are you being in the pose? What we do in yoga is usually what we do in our mats. Are you honoring your body? Are you being kind to yourself? And allowing the body to open up naturally with awareness guided by the breath. Two more rounds like this with your breath length. Nice. And then pausing in stillness of your tabletop. Maybe walking the big toes to touch and the knees to come wide. Exhaling, reaching the hip creases back, pausing there. Inhaling to aware of the heart space, extending away from the belly. Exhaling, floating the upper body down, the forehead to meet the mat, perhaps. If you have a block nearby, maybe you want to rest the forehead on a block and see how that feels. In my practice, I tried placing a block under my collarbone. My forehead can then still come to the earth, but my chest is rested and my shoulders soften a little more, which allows me to release into my hips. So you're in the privacy of your own home. You can let your practice be tailored to your body, to find a variation that works for you, keeping your props nearby and accessible. And don't worry about how much time it takes to get into the pose. Breathe into that peaceful, restorative stillness once you're there. 2 rounds of breath in peace can do more for you, right, than 6 rounds of breath efforting. With your inhale, lift the forehead, lift the chest, remove any props underneath your forehead or chest. The arms walk out in front of you if they're not already there, with the palms flat on the earth, gazing to the earth, so no efforting in the back of the neck. Keeping the hips right where they are, reaching back and softening down, walking both arms over to the left, keeping them shoulder width. Soften that right arm in the shoulder socket. Press into the palm of the hand. Root into it gently, aware of the earth beneath it. Exhale. Maybe you have the space to draw that right hip back. An awareness of lengthening from armpit to hip. And then the breath can move into that space. And you offer it. Experiment with it. allowing the breath to move deeper. With your exhale, gather the belly, walk the hands back to center. Inhale there, exhale, hip creases reach back and rest up in the direction of the heels, and both arms walk over to the right any amount, keeping them shoulder width alongside the ears, softening that left arm into the shoulder socket, aware of the earth beneath the palm, using that foundation to exhale that left hip crease away from the armpit, maybe bringing awareness to the side body and allowing the breath to fill that space. Maybe it's too much for you to have extended arms. Maybe you're on forearms. So whether I suggest it or not, can you find an easy way to come into every pose, to honor your body and wherever it is today, to allow the breath to move into the opening? What is the intention of the pose? To open up the side body, not to effort into the shoulders or the jaw or the knees. Exhale there, inhale back to center, coming back up onto all fours, maybe taking some hip circles, wag your tail, let that go. Nice. Let's see, coming down to forearms, and then walking the knees back. Maybe you need to remove that blanket under your knees so it doesn't prop up your hips and belly. Maybe it feels good to have that blanket there if it's not too high. So only you know what will work for you. So gentle Sphinx to start. Arms are parallel, elbows under shoulders, gazing in between the thumbs. Tops of the feet rest on the earth, all 10 toes. And as we become aware of that connection to the earth through the tops of the feet, we engage the muscles of the legs automatically. The knees start to lift. Can you find an easeful way to be here? How's the lower back? Maybe you need to walk the feet a little wider, away from each other. And then become aware of the shoulders. Soften them, slide them down the back, away from the ears. And with your next inhale, root the forearms to the earth. Become aware of that foundation. Already you might have a subtle lift to the heart space away from the floor. To experiment further, maybe you inhale, the heart extends away from the belly. Not lifting the chin, keeping the gaze soft to the floor in front of you. The upper back, the middle of the back, is working to draw you and support you forward and up into this back bend. The first back bend you've probably taken of the day, so be kind to yourself. Breathe here. With your next exhale, slowly lower yourself down into crocodile, one palm stacked on top of the other. The forehead rests, and then we totally release the legs to allow gravity to draw them towards the earth, the outside of the thighs heavier towards the earth, so that the big toes turn in and the heels turn out. Because this radiates all the way up into the lower back and the hips, echoing a softening, a release. And the breath moves into the back body or onto the back body. And how does this feel for you to lie on the earth? Do you feel compression? Is the breath compromised? Because I don't know what it's like to have a full chest, to have abundant breasts. And does this compromise your breath and put pressure?
Can you find a better way to come into the pose if that's the case, exploring how the breath feels? Can you allow it to move onto the back body or into the back body and have that make it more easeful so that you can still take complete breaths, just noticing without judging, accepting your body and honoring it. One more round of breath here. Exhale, the belly gathers, the hands come back underneath the shoulders, or the palms walk back underneath the shoulders so that the elbows are alongside the ribs and pointing in back of you. And then we can rest the forehead or the chin on the floor. So we can find that rooting to the earth through the tops of the feet again to secure us, to anchor us, to protect the lower back. The pubic bone roots to the earth. The legs are active without efforting. The shoulder blades slide down the back, away from the ears, and together to the center of the back. The palms become active into the earth. And maybe with your inhale, the heart lengthens away from the belly without lifting the chin. The head lifts because it's attached to your back, but you're not efforting in the back of the neck. And maybe you do one more round of breath here. And with your exhale, turn your head to one cheek, to the side, soften there. Release the whole body, legs, hips, the back, shoulders, the head. Sigh out the breath if that helps to let go of efforting. With your inhale, let the chin or the forehead come back to the earth. The palms are under the shoulders, fingers spread wide without efforting. Tops of the feet root to the earth. Maybe the legs walk a little wider, reach, extend back. Shoulder blades sliding down towards the waist and to the center of the back. Engaged without efforting. Rooting into the pubic bone. Inhale, lengthen the heart away from the belly to lift gently off the earth. Notice what you notice. Exhale, turn the head to the opposite cheek. Lower down to the earth and let go. Release, soften into the earth beneath you. Maybe bending the knees and shifting the lower legs from side to side. Does that help to let go any efforting that you might have felt in the lower back? Being able to discern the sensation that feels like warm muscles working, strengthening, and sharp pain, right? Backing out of anything that doesn't feel good. Allowing those legs to come back down to the earth. You're on the forehead or the chin, and that right arm slides on the floor alongside your ear with the pinky down and the thumb to the ceiling. Without efforting out of the shoulder socket. With your inhale, reach back into the left toes so that the leg starts to become light and we can lift that leg off the earth. With your inhale, maybe the heart extends, the shoulders, the chest lifts, maybe that right hand lifts for an inhale. And with your exhale, soften down, slide that right arm back. That feels better. Shake it out, let it go. Now you know we're coming to the other side. Let go of any expectation. Bring awareness to the breath and sensation in the body. And soften out of anything that doesn't feel right. So that you're resting on the forehead or the chin. so that you're sliding that left arm alongside your ear, but keeping the arm softened into the shoulder socket. Pinky side of the hands on the floor, thumb to ceiling. Extending into the toes on the right foot, feeling that leg lengthening out of the hip socket, keeping both hips anchored to the earth. Maybe with your inhale, you can lift that leg. Notice what you notice. Exhaling there, inhaling, maybe the heart lifts, extends away from the belly, keeping the gaze to the floor. Maybe that left arm extends, lifts. Exhale, soften down. Find your crocodile. Bend the knees, float the legs side to side. What do you need to do to let this go? And then find softness there. Turning to rest on your right cheek. And sliding the left knee out off the hip. And then bringing awareness to the breath, to the shoulders as they rest on the back body. How does this feel? Do you need to move the soft flesh of your body out of the way to rest a little more comfortably on the earth? Maybe turning a little more to the right, onto the right side. So that the breath is smooth and even. This is a restorative hip opener, just allowing gravity with support to allow the inner thighs to open, for the left hip to settle a little closer to the earth. Perhaps one more round of breath here, softening, releasing. And then inhaling that left leg to slide straight in back of you, turning the head to the opposite cheek, to the left cheek, and then sliding the right knee straight off the hip or thereabouts. And maybe this side's a little different. And you'll have to adjust for your body. Adjusting the soft tissue, adjusting the skeletal body, the muscular body, so that you can breathe in the stillness in an easeful way to allow a softening and an opening. To let go of all efforting. With your next inhale, that right leg comes straight back again. Walking the hands underneath the shoulders, the head is in alignment now. We exhale to support the lower back. We gather the belly, pressing into the earth, bringing ourselves up to all fours and getting some movement here. Shake it out, let it go. Circles, cat-cow, what do you need? Coming to stillness, exhale there, and inhale, bring yourself up to stand on your knees and roll through those shoulders, big circles. Shoulder blades slide up and down the back body. And then forward a couple of times. Inhale, shoulders to ears. Exhale, let them drop. Inhale there, exhale, soften. Nice. I hope you have some blocks or a chair nearby so that we can come to stand mindfully with intention. With your exhale, step one foot forward between the blocks or between your hands. Pause there, soften through the shoulders. Root into that, the sole of that foot. Curl the toes under of the opposite leg. press into the blocks or the chair to inhale, straighten through that leg, and exhale, step it forward. Right leg meets left, left leg meets right. Pause here, exhale, root down, gather the belly. Inhale all the way up to stand. The journey counts, the journey matters. Roll through the shoulders. Land in the soles of the feet or land on the earth in your mountain pose. Strong and gentle. Aware of the support. Aware that we can be gentle on the earth, to the earth. Moving with awareness. Rooting into the circumference of the heels and inhaling, lengthening through the crown of the head. Aware of the energy moving up the back body. The breath filling us, restoring us. With your inhale, floating the arms out, around, and up. With your exhale, guiding them through the center of the body. Inhaling, maybe the hands are softly cupped up to gather all the energy around you, and exhaling it, bringing it through the crown of the head, the heart space, and down into the root of the body. One more round like this, using your breath to guide you. And landing in Tadasana. Pausing here, resting in the stillness, aware of the breath in the body, maybe inviting it a little deeper, using the exhales to let go of the tension and efforting. Keeping those blocks nearby or getting them now if you didn't have them before. I don't have my phone. I'm just going to check the time here. Okay. So we're actually going to either use a chair or blocks with the one block on the lowest setting and the other block on the highest. At the top of your mat. And we'll step the right foot with the blocks on the pinky toe side. Moving with awareness even as you gather your props, right? So that we bring that awareness into our everyday life, trying to fold from the hip creases and not the belly, to soften and bend with the knees as we pick things up. Walking that left foot back to come into our warrior two pose or foundation with the legs wide, a comfortable, easy width, with the toes of the left foot pointing to the long side of the mat and the right foot pointing to the top of the mat. And once you're settled, softening the shoulders down the back. Inhale, lifting the ribs out of the lower back, keeping that lift with soft shoulders and finding the foundation in the soles of the feet and the active legs. Nice. And inhaling the arms up in T. And then rotating the left palm towards the ceiling, cupping that hand as if you had a tennis ball softly in that hand. Nice. With your next exhale, settle the hips between the legs, bend into that right knee. Maybe you notice where it tracked, maybe not. Maybe you're straightening it again and exhaling with awareness to bend into that knee so it lands over the ankle and opens out to the room in back of you. Take your practice where you need to be. The shoulders are over the hips still. We haven't brought them forward or back, but straight up. Beautiful. And maybe you're gazing over that right hand. Nice. With your inhales, if you were bringing that ball up and overhead, with your exhale, land on the blocks or the chair with that right hand, yes. Adjust, bring yourself up. Find an easeful way to be in this extended side angle. Inhale back up into warrior two. So that's just so you could find where you're comfortable in that side angle. Okay, soften into your warrior two. Find the foundation, the length, and the breath. As if you were going to, I don't know, tennis serve, cricket ball, serve that ball, float that ball up overhead. As you float that right arm down, continue around to the earth and inhale, float up into your warrior. So now you know where you're going. Soften there. Let's slow it down a little more. Inhale, land in your warrior two. Exhale, foundation. Inhale, float that left arm up as the right arm comes down. Pause there. Continue to exhale down to the earth and to inhale, float up into your warrior. Float the arms down, heel toes, step the feet together. Shake it out, let it go. Land here. We'll come to the other side and then maybe we'll repeat it. We'll see. Notice what you notice. Are you efforting? Are you finding an easeful way? Can you keep the integrity along spine, integrity through the back body without collapsing, so that this is a big arc, so that the body maybe rotates with the arm or not, but feel the rhythm of it. Don't effort to have what it should look like, but just keep yourself safe. Okay, so we're gonna turn to the other side. So if you don't need to see me, just turn your body so that the toes are now alongside the left pinky toe side of the foot is alongside the blocks. And that right foot is back. And the hips are even, parallel to the earth. And the shoulders are over the hips and they're settled down the back. And as you root down, you become aware of the foundation through the soles of the feet, the active legs, so that we can inhale and find a little bit of length of the ribs lifting out of the hips. And we can extend into the fingertips and soften in the shoulders, gazing over that left hand maybe. And with your exhale, settling the hips between the legs, keeping the shoulders right where they are over the hips. Nice. Breathing here as if you had a ball in that right hand now. We're inhaling, it floats alongside the ear as we soften that left arm down, pausing for just a moment, and then exhaling the hand to the earth and up and around to inhale back into your warrior. Maybe this is too much on this side. You heel toe the feet a little closer together. You don't bend into the knee. What do you need to do? You can use a chair, and that can be your foundation, and this can be what your side angle looks like. To get that idea of moving with the breath, the arm and the shoulder socket without efforting. Take the time to find what works for you. As we inhale, we settle into that warrior pose. Again, moving mindfully so the knee lands over the ankle and opens to the room in back of us. Inhaling that arm around as the left hand plants, maybe pausing in that side angle, and then inhaling to float that arm around and up, back into your warrior. Maybe exploring it one more time on your own. Use your breath to move you into each little movement to keep you safe, to pause between the breaths and land in your warrior one more time. Coming up, strong and gentle, floating the arms down, heel, toes, step the feet together. Shake it out, let it go. Land in the soles of the feet. Breathe in your mountain pose, finding a gazing point ahead of you or softly closing the eyes, connecting with the breath in your body. Maybe parting the lips and sighing the breath out, and along with that sigh, the shoulders soften, the jaw releases. And you find the breath again, filling the front and back of the heart space, filling the side ribs in alignment with the belly button. The ribs expand and accept the breath, and you invite the breath in and a soft breath out. One more round like this. You have time. And then softly blinking open the eyes if you've closed them. If you have a chair, you can bring that chair to the long side of the mat. If you have blocks, then you can put the blocks on the highest setting. They should be about shoulder width or so. Great. I'm gonna walk the feet nice and wide with the edges of the feet parallel to the edges of the mat. Shoulders soften down the back. And find a foundation through the soles of the feet. And as we bring awareness to the soles of the feet, we are aware of the legs becoming active without locking out the knees. With your inhale, float the arms out, around, and up. With your exhale, cross the right arm closest to you, the left hand in front of it. The fingertips up towards the ceiling. This is a mudra we did the other day, in case you weren't here. So the elbows aren't crossed. The arms are just like, I dream of genie arms, yes, with the fingertips up to the ceiling. This is as if you could imagine a force field around you and pressing into the palms into that force field. So heel of the hands reaching away from each other with one arm, forearm in front of the other. Soften through the shoulders. With your inhale, the arms float out, around, and up. Notice, become aware of that energy around you. With your exhale, right arm in front, left arm away from you. Palms press away from you. Fingertips to ceiling. Next time we'll reverse it. So we inhale, the arms float out, around, and up, and we exhale, left arm crosses close to your heart, right arm in front of it, palms press away. One more round like this. Nice. And inhaling the arms up into goddess arms. Exhale, become aware of the soles of the feet. Inhale through the crown of the head, chin stays soft. Exhale, soften the knees, float forward from the hip creases. Maybe you're parallel to the earth. Nice. Feel the work in the legs, the opening in the inner thighs, the back of the thighs. The belly is hugging in and up to support the back. Soft shoulders, active shoulder blades. Nice. Exhale, float the hands to the chair or the blocks. What is accessible to you? Nice. Inhale, heart lengthens away from the belly. Keep that length. The right arm extends out to the side, straight off the collarbone, parallel to the earth. Maybe you bend the elbow and bring the palm of the hand to the lower back or the back of the hand to the lower back. Keep gazing to the hand on the block or the chair in front of you, drawing the elbow, the shoulder blade to the center of the back, the elbow up. Inhale, opening up the heart, allowing for some movement in the hips, but knowing that this is a gentle twist. Maybe gazing over that right shoulder, maybe not. Find the breath. Recommit to that foundation. Inhale there. Exhale with control. That hand comes back down to the chair. We root into the right hand so we can inhale the left. Soften there. Maybe we bend the elbow and place the hand on the lower back, drawing the elbow to the ceiling, the shoulder blade to the center of the back. Inhale, keeping the length. Exhaling, heart opens to the left. Maybe the gaze follows over that left shoulder. Maybe the side's a little different. The legs are working. That right arm is supporting you without efforting. And the core is working so that you're not hanging on that wrist or over efforting. Inhale there. Exhale, float that hand to the blocks or the chair. Inhale, soften. Exhale, float the hands to the hips. The belly gathers. Inhale, hinge all the way up. Maybe a gentle lift of the heart to the ceiling. And find a neutral spine. Heel toe, step the feet together. Let it go, walk it out. Land here and breathe in the stillness of your mountain pose. Pause to smooth out the breath. To sigh the breath out if it helps. To allow the breath to move into the front and back of the heart space. Becoming aware of the sensations in the body without judging it. And as we come to the top of the mat, bringing the blocks or the chair along with you. Moving through some half sun salutes. Maybe adding a lunge if that works for you. Maybe you'll pause in the half forward fold and take a few rounds of breath there. Maybe you'll try it and then decide not to repeat it. So curious about what your body is holding on to today and how easy you can make the practice for yourself. Being kind to yourself with your inhale. We extend the arms up. With your exhale, we swan dive forward and soften the knees to root to the chair. Inhaling to find length. Exhaling, maybe straightening a little into the back of the knees. Breathing into the backs of the legs. Maybe the hands have to walk forward. How are your wrists? As I bring my awareness to different parts of my body, I find I have to adjust my practice. Straightening into that right leg, deeply bending into the left knee. Breathing into the sensation in the back of the right leg. Deeply bending into the right knee as you straighten into the left. Breathing into sensation in the back of the left knee, hip, maybe back, but it shouldn't feel painful or sharp. Right? Shoulders are soft, core is engaged, deeply bending both knees. Exhale, gather the belly so that you can inhale with the support to come all the way up to stand and float the hands through the heart center to extend to the earth. Inhaling out, around, and up. Exhaling, hinging forward as you bend the knees, the hip creases reach back, and we plant the hands. Keeping the right knee bent, bringing the weight over that knee, that leg, so that we can extend and slide that right leg back, left leg back. Curl the toes under. The right knee is over the right ankle as we reach into that left heel, maybe adjust, soften. It's the core body, the back body that allows the spine to be long, to open through the front body so the heart extends away from the belly. Exhale, root into that right foot. Draw, step that left foot, slide it forward, nice. Keeping the knees softly bent with your inhale, float all the way up. With your exhale, bring it through the heart center to allow the fingertips to reach to the earth. Pause here, smooth out the breath. With your inhale, allow the arms to float up. With your exhale, hinge forward, plant the hands. Allowing the weight to shift over that left leg. Long front body, stepping, sliding that right foot back into a lunge. So the toes are curled under, and that right leg is active. It reaches to the ceiling and into the heel. The left foot roots to the earth and the thigh muscles hug to the bone. And you inhale and extend the heart away from the belly. The hands are there for support if you need them without efforting into the shoulders, soft back of the neck. One more inhale. Exhale, step that foot forward. Inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale, heart center. Pause here. Breathe into the heart space. And we'll come all the way down to the earth this time. So we'll inhale the arms out, around, and up. We'll exhale and hinge forward so that we can step one knee back and then the other to mindfully come back down to the earth, walking yourself back into child pose. Your choice, knees together or knees wide. What suits you, what allows you to rest in child pose in an easeful way. Just smooth out the breath. Following the breath from beginning to end. With your exhale, the belly gathers. With your inhale, you walk yourself up to sit onto your heels. Allow the hips to come to one side and the feet to extend out, legs extend out in front of you. Walking yourself up to the top of your mat. And mindfully being kind to your body, bringing yourself down to rest on your back. Coming down. Rolling over onto your side and then coming onto your back, whatever you need to do. Knees can be bent up to the ceiling, feet resting on the earth. Pause here. Aware of the foundation in the back of the head with a soft jaw and neck. Of the shoulder blades tucked underneath the heart space and resting on the earth. The hips. Equal weight in both sides, so the sacrum is rooted with a natural curve to the lower back and the soles of the feet. Resting. Hip width. With your exhale, the right knee draws in for a hug. Maybe you take a little bind in back of the thigh or over the shin to interlace the fingers and move that leg around in the hip socket. And then come to stillness there. Exhale, the belly gathers. Maybe you have space to draw the knee closer, maybe not. Releasing that bind and inhaling the leg to extend straight up to the ceiling. Notice what you notice. Breathe, soften. Rotating the leg in the hip socket so the toes turn out and crossing that ankle over the thigh. Revisiting our hip opener. Does it feel any different than the beginning of class? Maybe you don't remember. Just noticing. As you offer that right knee to move away from you, maybe you exhale and lift that left foot so that the left knee comes in and the right knee is offered away. Breathing into the sensation in the right side body. Adding a little core work or not. Maybe this is where you'll stay. Maybe with your exhale, you gather the belly, and with your inhale, you lift the heart and the shoulders up towards the ceiling without compressing the front body. Exhale, lower down. So yes, the muscles engage, but you're not trying to curl up. See if you can lift straight up. Maybe even the arms out in goddess, lifting straight up. Exhaling down, inhaling up, and exhale, soften down. Let that left foot float to the earth. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, float it to the floor. Walk the feet wide and take a windshield wiper between sides. Walk the feet back to hips distance. Find the shoulder blades rooting to the earth. The sacrum rooting to the earth. Exhale, the belly gathers. Inhale, the left leg draws in for a hug, Maybe taking a bind, maybe moving it around. And then settling into the stillness of this opening. The length of the back body into the glutes, the back of the thigh. Releasing that bind with the exhale and inhale, extending the right heel straight up to the ceiling, foot is flexed. Butt is soft back to the back of the knee, breathing into the back of the thigh. Maybe this feels a little different than the start of class, maybe not. Rotating the entire leg in the hip socket so you could cross that ankle over the thigh. And maybe this is where you're staying, right? So if there's already sensation in the left hip, then you're getting benefit from this pose. Maybe with your exhale, that right knee lifts, and the left knee you offer it to move away from you. Core is engaged. You're not rocking to one side or the other. Adding on if it feels right for you, keeping a softness to the jaw. With your inhale, the heart lifts, the shoulders lift. With your exhale, slowly lower down. Inhaling, keeping the throat open, the gaze to the ceiling. Exhale. No efforting. Maybe one more round like this. Maybe you're already resting on the earth. And then that right foot comes down. We inhale, extend the left foot up and bend that knee and float it to the earth. Walk the feet wide and find your windshield wiper again, coming up onto the heels if that
works for you or not, to float the knees side to side. Noticing what you notice, softening with the exhales. And then coming to stillness here, yogi's choice. Maybe the knees fall together. Maybe the legs extend straight out on the floor in front of you. Maybe you draw them in for a hug and rest in the stillness of drawing the knees in for a hug. Aware of the breath in the body, softening that breath, smoothing out the edges, following the breath from beginning to end. And with your next exhale, one knee and then the other draws in for a hug. Maybe you get some movement, rocking from side to side. Pausing here with the knees over the hips. Maybe extending the arms out in T. Maybe you'd like to come into a final spinal twist, allowing one knee and then the other to come over to the side. Or maybe you're floating the feet to the earth and pausing in a different place, a different shape. Is there another pose you need to complete your practice? Another shape your body needs? Another place to move the breath, to let go of any remaining gripping or tension? The arms extend out in T. Maybe the gaze turns, if you're in a twist, the gaze to the opposite, fingertips opposite the knees. And then inhaling the knees up to center and exhaling over to the other side if you're taking a twist or any other pose, you're reversing this, what side you're on. Softening into the pose, using the breath to guide you. With your inhale, the gaze comes to the ceiling. If you've turned it, with your exhale, the knees come back up to center, taking any final movement to complete your practice. And then preparing for Shavasana, maybe you need to cover up, putting on socks or covering yourself with a blanket, propping your legs onto a chair or a pillow or a bolster, getting a pillow for your back of your head. Choosing stillness, allowing the body to become still. Allowing the sand to settle and the water to become clear. Following the breath from beginning to end. Using the exhales to release the body into the support beneath you. Aware of the earth beneath you and the vast sky above you. And breathing into the heart that rests between the two. Using the exhales to soften the space between the eyes. Allowing the eyes to rest heavy into the back of the head. The forehead melts to the earth. The jaw softens. The tongue slips away from the roof of the mouth and the lips gently meet. One breath follows the next with just a gentle pause between them, settling into your natural rhythm. And we acknowledge the thoughts and we honor them. And just for now, we allow them to float away and gently draw the focus back to watching the breath. Our final resting pose, bringing the mind, the body, and the spirit back into balance. This is what we've been working towards. Moving from thinking to knowing to feeling. And I'll be here to guide you out. Slowly becoming aware of your body resting on the earth, becoming aware of the space surrounding you. Gently inviting the breath to move a little deeper. Feeling more awake and alert with every inhale. Slowly bringing your body out of stillness with small, gentle movements, wiggling the fingers and the toes, maybe slowly turning the head from side to side. And maybe with a deep awakening inhale, extending, reaching the arms up overhead. And with your exhale, floating the arms to a comfortable position, bending the knees to step one foot, then the other onto the earth if they aren't there already. Aware of what yoga has given to you today, what your practice has given to you today. Grateful for the time we spend on our mats, for the time that we give to ourselves. Using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. Bringing the breath to fill the front and back of the heart space. And when you're ready, pressing into the earth and drawing yourself up into a comfortable, easy seated position. Pausing here. And with your inhale, allowing the arms to float up, aware of the energy that surrounds us. And exhale, bringing that to the heart center. The palms meet, resting in front of the heart space. And we lift our hearts and we bow our heads to honor that perfect light that shines in all of us and unites us. And so we practice yoga, to go from acting or moving from habit to mindfully making wise choices, to bring loving awareness to the felt experience. We allow the breath and the wise heart to guide us, with the intention that our practice be continuous, that we bring yoga into every breath and step. May your hearts be steady for yourselves and for each other. May our efforts be of benefit to all beings. May all beings be safe. May they be healthy. May they be happy. May all beings find their freedom. May they know peace and move through the world with ease. Namaste. Thank you all for sharing your practice with me. I hope you feel good.